Hello, my friends, and welcome back to another Brotato Danger 5 random run, where we take two random characters, combine them using the GMO mod, grab a random weapon, and see if we can beat Danger 5 with the resulting monstrosity. As always, of course, we're using the wheel to pick our random characters, since the random button doesn't work with the GMO mod. So, let's see what we've got. We've got... Oh, the Jack, I think. Oh, yes, just on the line there. The Jack, of course, a very powerful character, but if we get a low damage pair with it, could be quite difficult. So let's see what we've got. And it is indeed a very low damage character in the form of the Hiker. So this, I think, is actually going to be a more difficult combo than you might think. So we'll just have to see how it goes. So let's take the Jack, and we've got the Hiker, who will get extra money, but we have lower materials dropped from enemies, so that can be pretty dangerous with the Jack. Though I believe this stacks additively, so we're going to get 250% money instead of 300%. So we'll see what weapon we've got. All right, we've got fists. So let's run around and see if we can kill at least a couple of these enemies here. So far, it looks like, yeah, we've got 250% material drops. So some enemies are dropping 2 and some are dropping 3. And of course, we need to constantly keep moving because as the Hiker, we get extra money and extra health by running around. I could roll for harvesting. Neither of these characters have a harvesting penalty. I could also try to just pick up movement speed because it goes well with the Hiker passive, but harvesting is always good to start with, so let's do that. Fist is a great weapon, and I definitely want to increase our movement speed, because the Hiker gets extra money and extra HP every time you take steps, so having extra health will give us a lot of extra value. And yeah, we'll take a Terrified Onion as well for the same reason, and then we should be able to get almost a full weapon set here. So I could spend 17 on the Terrified Onion, or I could reroll to try to lock another fist. I think given that the Hiker benefits so much from moving quickly, I am just going to buy the speed item. Obviously, rerolling a ton and then buying an item afterwards isn't usually what you want to do, but there was no guarantee we found that many fists early. And because the reroll was getting to be pretty expensive, I think it makes more sense to just spend the money there. We also are a character that gets a really good starting economy for the first couple waves, which will then peter off later on, so we want to spend money while we've got that extra coming in. I could take some regen here. I could take some movement speed again. I think I'm going to roll for harvesting, though. Though I will, I think, just grab 5 luck to offset the luck penalty. Then we'll take a fist and roll, buy another fist. Whistle is definitely worth buying here. And upgrading fist is pretty good. It doubles in base damage and also gives you extra attack speed with it. And it's just a pretty solid weapon that's very cheap to upgrade as well. So really nice to be able to upgrade this. Flaming Brass Knuckles is just a fist with a minor bonus on it. The extra burning damage doesn't matter that much, but I think that this is a strong enough combo that I'm going to use Flaming Brass Knuckles as well, because it's in the theme of the weapon. And it's a weapon that doesn't get used very often, so for a more for fun run like this one, let's showcase a weapon that you don't get to see that frequently. A kind of weird thing about the Flaming Brass Knuckles is even though it's just strictly better than a fist, it's often not correct to buy it anyways, just because it's more expensive and there's not like a need for it, but it is still just a fun weapon that we don't get to see often, so we're going to make use of it here. Take 8 harvesting, that's great, and then 6% speed to buff our Hiker passive again. And then we'll take the Flaming Brass Knuckles, we will pick up the Whistle and the Beanie, I'll lock a bait as well, and I'll roll here, and we can take a coupon. Let's take the Goat Skull. I do want to improve my melee damage as well. I could reroll here. We're guaranteed to see 1 weapon in the shop, so I'm going to roll once and try to upgrade our fists for 4 materials, even though we're only rerolling 1 slot. I think that is worth it because getting these upgraded will help us keep up with the increased enemy health from the Jack. So I'd say we're in pretty good shape. We found a +8 harvesting upgrade, which obviously is amazing. We've got a very solid weapon. Try to set this lamprey on fire as well. I might try to do some sort of fire damage thing because we have a flaming brass knuckles. No chance I kill that first alien before the end of the wave, I don't think. I could take an elemental damage here. It would cost me, for the brass knuckles, it would cost me knockback, though. And I don't know that we really need elemental damage, but let's take one. This way we can sort of speculate on getting a little bit more. And then I'm going to roll here. I'm again looking for harvesting, and we'll take 8. Now we're at 21 or higher harvesting, which of course is where we want to be. We should have plenty of damage to be able to kill the lampreys here. And an injection, I'll take a cursed flaming brass knuckles. That's amazing. So let's go ahead and grab that. And then we'll take the injection. I don't have any use for explosion size, so I'm just going to reroll here. Alien worm. I currently have very low HP, so I wouldn't mind an HP increase. But I think I'm just going to reroll again, and we'll lock a fist. Alright, so we're going to have a couple lampreys. Of course, it's fewer than there normally would be, thanks to the fact that we have the jack. Actually, so I was thinking I wanted to have multiple brass knuckles because it's just better than fists in general. But I should actually have combined them to get a higher level cursed one. So we'll probably just buy, because the fire keys off of course, the highest level burning effect that we have. So having the level 3 cursed would be much more useful than having a level 2 cursed and a level 2 normal. Take 9 HP here, that's great. And I feel like I can get at least a level 2 upgrade. 10 luck is awesome as well, and it'll help increase the power of my level ups. Let's combine. We've now got a level 3 flaming brass knuckles. 24 extra damage for 11 seconds is kind of amazing, actually. And while it does mean I have 2 level 1 fists, that's totally fine. We'll roll here. Definitely taking a mouse. That's excellent. And I'll take a mutation again. I feel like at this point I can now start really seriously thinking about going into more of an elemental build if we get the right pieces for it. So if I get a scared sausage or something along those lines, then having the extra elemental damage will be very helpful. Now the downside of this character at this point is there's still a chance that enemies drop no materials at all. So even though we have increased material drops from enemies, some will just not drop anything. So we are going to start to struggle to make money fairly soon, but we're off to such a good start that I think we'll be able to keep ahead of the economy curve despite that happening. Jack's economy is generally just really strong, and the hiker also gives us free money. We'll take additional attack speed here, and then we can take 2 armor or 9 HP. I'll just take the level 3 upgrade. Cute Monkey is going to be really good. We'll take a fist. I'll buy the alien tongue. Right now I have no consumable heal, but it's still, as a short-range melee character, a fairly important aspect of our healing. And just for fun, I'll buy the mirror. We'll try to mirror something good. Didn't find anything, but I do want double propeller hat, so while this was an expensive second propeller hat because of the mirror, it was still worth buying here. Then let's roll again and roll again. We'll upgrade our fists and take a peaceful bee, lock another propeller hat. Riposte, I don't... no, wait, actually, we're unarmed, so I can build around dodge as well. Having a riposte will increase the damage of our weapons, because it increases our melee damage, and also we have 19% dodge already, because we're an unarmed weapon build with a peaceful bee, so building dodge is really efficient for us. The more dodge you have, the better each point of dodge gets, so a build that's an unarmed build is much more likely to want to purchase dodge. Definitely going to need some healing right now, because I currently have none. Because we've got the Cute Monkey, which is actually a pretty good way to heal for this character, but we are certainly going to need more. So we'll be keeping an eye out for any good way to heal. Here, I think I'm going to take 9% movement speed. With the hiker passive, that'll get us a lot of maximum health. And then we can buy all of these items. Take a reroll here. Here we got the scared sausage that we were looking for, but let's take Bean Teacher. I was going to buy the medal before the scared sausage if I could, but we can't afford it. And then let's roll. Alien Eyes actually will work pretty well with the scared sausage. We'll be setting things on fire, and we'll get a bunch of elemental damage. I don't need crit chance at all. Our weapons only crit for 1.5x, so no point in buying crit damage on this character, really. At least not until we have a lot more base damage. Whenever we set something on fire with the brass knuckles, it's going to take hundreds of damage because it's going to burn for so long. The duration on burning effects increasing with cursed items is really powerful because it just means that you only need to set something on fire once and it just keeps taking damage and then will die eventually, as long as you can stay away from it long enough. So we have the option to just run away from most of these enemies. Now, my armor isn't great, and our healing is very poor, so I do need to fix that very soon. Regen is probably the stat that we need the most. Here, we'll take that 3 regeneration, and then I'll still grab 10 harvesting. It's a level 3 upgrade, so it's pretty good here. I don't care that much about losing knockback, so I'll take the banner, and we'll take all of these. Sharp Bullet does work with the Alien Eyes, but I don't think that's that important. Although, I will also buy any turrets and stuff, so we'll take the Sharp Bullet. It does make us a little weaker in the short term, but in the long term, it could be pretty valuable. Take the helmet here, because I definitely want more armor. Dangerous Bunny will lock. Goat Skull will lock. I prefer not to cap my max HP at 54, and melee damage, I guess the elemental damage is pretty good, but the handcuffs I think we can pass on. Definitely an easier run than I was expecting this to be, honestly, because I forgot that the way the hiker passive interfaces with the jack passive is additively instead of multiplicatively, so we still get the full extra material drops from the jack. And then all the free stats from hiker as well. Normally, hiker's penalty is that it's a low economy character, but with the jack boosting our economy and offsetting the hiker penalty, this is just a really, really strong character combo. Kind of nice to get some that are just overpowered sometimes, though. I think that's our first crate drop this game. No, we've had at least one more, but not that many. I also have a whistle, and I don't think I've seen a single loot alien. Oh, until I see this one, who we won't be able to kill. Obviously, just have to complain about it. I'll take the Rip and Tear. It's not that powerful for us, because as the Jack, there's fewer enemies to explode, and the damage is less proportional to their health. But it's still useful. We don't care about losing crit chance. It only costs 31 materials, so I think it's worth it. Here, I'm just going to take 2 regen. I could reroll for other stats, but having higher level regeneration upgrades is less important than higher level other upgrades, because the level 1 regeneration is 2. So going from level 1 to level 2 is only a 50% increase when you go from 2 to 3. Most stats double when you go from a level 1 to a level 2 upgrade, so it's more important to get higher level ones, but regen, you are often okay taking a level 1 version, because you're not actually sacrificing that much. I do need more attack speed, but I think I need more armor more. Baby Squid is amazing. We'll definitely take a fin. Just gonna buy all of these weapons here. Let's upgrade our fists. We'll take landmines and broken mouth, because I have the scared sausage, so I kind of want to start building some additional splash damage around the map as well. This character can really benefit from that. We'll take a gambling token to try to get to dodge cap. Shackles, I will take. 30 speed is a little low for the hiker, because unlike the speedy, the hiker actually cares about how fast you actually move, not how high your speed stat is, because it's based on just movement across the map. So capping your speed is much worse for this character than other characters that scale off of movement speed. But it's still, I think, pretty good 8 regen. The 80 range is relevant with a short-range weapon like this as well. Like a snake for sure. And I can buy the beanie before we buy the shackles as well. I'll pick up a speed upgrade if we do see one this wave. So if we get +9 speed on our level up this wave, because we're hitting level 15, so we're guaranteed to get a level 3 level up. If we get 9 speed, Hiker increases speed modifiers as well, so that'll be plus 13.5%. Then we can add 6 more percent. And capping our movement speed around, with the beanie, capping our movement speed around 50 is going to be totally reasonable for the Hiker. That's as fast as you kind of want to go anyways, because otherwise it can become too difficult to dodge the enemies. When you're just moving so fast, your reflexes have to be correspondingly fast to keep up. Actually have a decent number of enemies on the field because I've got the mouse and everything, so that's pretty good. So we'll take 9 speed here. Wait, hang on. So the Hiker, yeah. Oh, it's only 10% increase. I was thinking it was 50% for some reason. So we won't be at 50 speed, but that's okay. I'll take 9% dodge, boosting our dodge up to 36, so we're going to hit dodge cap pretty soon. And then 45 speed, that's a totally reasonable number to cap our speed at. I could take some engineering. I just don't think we really need it. We've only got 1 engineering item. We will buy a Flaming Brass Knuckles here, and then roll, and we'll take a bag as well. A Peaceful Bee. Little Frog, I don't want to buy because I need to buy as much dodge as I can. I'll definitely take an Incendiary Turret, and I'll take a small magazine as well. Our attack speed is quite low. My percent damage is also horrible, so I need to fix that as well. But either of those are pretty good. Coil with minus 13 knockback, I don't think we're going to take that. Oh, I think I just passed Brass Knuckles, but... So, oops. Definitely a possibility that I pass more than one of those. It's a weapon I'm so used to ignoring. This character is very, very fast, so it's hard for the enemy to actually hit us, but it's also hard for me to dodge everything. But I should be able to kill the boss here. Unless I take too many hits. Really trying to focus damage on it. I also need to keep moving, of course, because I am the Hiker. So we want to make certain that we are getting our full movement speed value. I need to back off of the boss for a second here and just heal up for a minute. And then we should be able to kill it. And then I'll run over here and try to kill that loot alien as well, which we did get. And there we go. Not the cleanest boss fight. My damage was a little low for killing it, but we got there in the end. I'll take the medical turret. It's a decent way to heal. Night Goggles costs armor, but does give... it'll get me to positive crit chance. And our damage isn't amazing, and crit chance isn't that important for us, but it is relevant. I think I will take the Night Goggles. I need to fix my armor now, but we can still benefit from that. And then we'll take the Dynamite, because we do have a Rip and Tear. A reroll here, we can do better. Take 10% attack speed, 4 regeneration, up to 20 regen already. Ice Cube works really well, of course, with the Brass Knuckles. And then I will re-roll, take a Bean Teacher. I'll take a Tentacle. Now that I am building some crit chance, that's a reasonable way to heal, and we've got crit synergies, which makes buying critical hit stuff much more attractive. And then we'll take all this stuff. I'm doing a kind of engineering sub-theme as well, because when you get a character like this that's just very rich, you can often get away with buying engineering, buying luck-based damage and stuff like that, and that's a good way to ensure that you keep getting strong by making sure that you're keeping your clear speed up. One way that characters like this can get weaker is if you let too many enemies spawn that you aren't killing. So just having more random damage around the map keeps the spawn speed going and makes sure that you are continuously keeping enemies dying. as always, have to just keep moving, too, for the hiker passive, but we have 83 health now, which is amazing. I'm going to take 8% damage. My percent damage is terrible. And here, let's go with 4 regeneration. I definitely want to get this to, like, 50 or so. Take the Dangerous Bunny. Bone Dice I can take for sure. We have 83 health, and we'll take a Salt Water as well. Since it gives me a free reroll, I'll take the Boxing Glove. The knockback is not important, but a melee damage is still very good. Let's do some rerolls. Clover is great. We'll take that, and then Scared Sausage and Injection I will take both of. There's the Baby Elephant and Fin. We are at move speed cap, so we don't need the Fin. It will slow my burning damage, but Frozen Heart I think is still worth grabbing. It's not great with the Flaming Brass Knuckles, but it just increases our elemental damage a lot and boosts the base damage of all our other weapons as well, which obviously is helpful. Boosts the base damage at a pretty poor ratio, so we're not going to worry too much about buying elemental damage. This is a comment that I get every single time I pick up this item is I will then pass a, like, 1 elemental damage item later on, and I'll get 4 or 5 people saying, You tool, you moron, how could you do this? And the answer is because 1/10 of a damage is not particularly good. So, you buy Frozen Heart for the crit chance, for the extra base damage, but the actual damage scaling on elemental damage is not something that you need to pay that much attention to. Though if we get tons of elemental damage for free, then it will be a nice little bonus. Nail is very similar for the same reasons. We'll take 15 luck here, and then I will buy all of these items. Roll. I currently have 1 consumable heal, but I think I do want the Alien Worm. I really want to boost my regeneration. We'll lock this Brass Knuckles. I'll roll here. Probably the first time I've managed to actually lock a Brass Knuckles instead of passing it. I don't really need the Hedgehog, I don't think. Let's roll again. Oh, Sif's Relic. One of my favorite items in the entire game, of course. And I'll roll 1 more time. Nothing else here that we really want. Trying to hit it as much as I can while it still had the Ice Cube debuff on it. But also trying to keep my movement up. This is a boss that's somewhat difficult to fight as a melee character. Okay, I need to actually pay attention to where I'm going here. Very, very poor movement and dodging by me this wave. So let's run away and get some healing. Of course, we're playing the Jack, so enemies have additional damage, so you can't afford to get too careless. And it looks like I'm going to cost myself the boss kill here just because I took a bunch of hits. Even after I've, recognized that my movement and dodging that wave was terrible, I still kept moving and dodging so badly. So, oh well, sometimes you mess up. Let's get the max level cursed Brass Knuckles here. We'll take the Sith's Relic. We will upgrade our dodge chance. We can buy the Starfish, but I don't think I really need it. We just need to boost our weapon damage mostly. I'll take the Fist. Lucky Charm is good. Mushroom is good. We don't need the Acid. Another Fist will be good, though. Let's try to play a little cleaner after that wave. And this is the issue with focusing on buying random stuff as well. Like, we spent a lot of money on Brass Knuckles, which are only somewhat useful. We spent a lot of money on things like Scared Sausages, and as a result, had less melee damage. If we'd had a little more melee damage going into that fight, it would have been just a free kill on that elite, even despite my mechanics being very bad in the fight. So that's why typically you're going to want to build a more focused strategy. And for this character, I was, getting greedy and relying on having good mechanics in order to make up the difference so we could end up with a more powerful endgame build. But
sometimes your mechanics aren't as good. And especially if you have played this game less than I have, you may want to focus more on more focused builds in order to make sure that your build is as strong as possible at every point during the game. The strength at the end game, you don't get points for overkill, right? The strength at the end game doesn't matter. So you're just trying to get as strong as possible during the game in order to win every wave as cleanly as you can. We'll take the Ugly Tooth here. That could help keep enemies vulnerable, especially the elites, make it a little easier to dodge so we don't have that problem again. Butterfly, I'll take for a free reroll, I think. I will buy an incendiary turret, and we'll lock a blindfold as well. Weird food we will take also, and then a head injury is going to be good as well. Obviously, the cursed head injury for 11% damage is really nice. But I do think that that is a good lesson, is it can be tempting to buy everything on one character, and, you know, there are times when it's good to do. And here, it is helpful for a high economy character like this to do that to some extent. But it can also put you in a worse situation for elite fights and everything. And especially if you're not making a YouTube video where there are some points for, you know, exciting endgame builds just being really strong, because people love to see that, there's no reason to build for endgame overkill. Build for the point that you're playing at. I'm going to take the Scared Sausage here for more burning damage, and we're over dodge cap, but I still want the armor, of course. I'll buy a Brass Knuckle here as well. We'll lock a Small Fish and do a reroll. Allure is really nice, and Peacock I'm not going to take because I would be going into the Elite Wave, and obviously we don't want to increase the Elite's damage. Would love a Silver Bullet. That would let us kill the Elite much more easily, but mostly I just need attack speed and melee damage at this point. We've got 60% dodge, so we're at dodge cap. So all I really need now is just to be able to kill things a little faster. Clear those lampreys as well, and we're just making so much money every wave at this point. I'll take a Dangerous Bunny here. Okay, 12% increased enemy movement speed. Normally I would never take a Scarf going into an Elite Wave, but 12% is not that bad, especially because I have the Ugly Tooth to slow it back down again. And regen melee and melee damage are incredible. The movement speed is good as well, getting us back to speed cap. We'll take 6 melee damage here. I'll take a Giant Belt. We have 15% crit chance, which obviously isn't amazing, but that's still pretty good for extra damage to the boss. I've got some elemental damage, so we can be a Strange Book build. Obviously, this is more just sort of random nonsense, but at this point, we're strong enough to be able to get away with that. And then Lighthouse combines well with Strange Book. Sunglasses combines well with Giant's Belt, so we should be able to be really strong to kill the bosses here. Why'd he go the other way? I made the elite charge the wrong direction, so kind of weird movement by me. Also, that was funny. The elite was changing form, and I slowed it, and it has to do a little animation changing form, but because we have the cursed Ugly Tooth, it got slowed while changing form, and couldn't complete its little spinning around animation. So it took it forever to go from stage 1 to stage 2. This cursed mini-boss I definitely need to kill quickly because it's super dangerous to us, and it has a ton of health. try to kill this loot alien as well. There's a curse alien over there, but I won't quite be able to get that one. The beanie were over speed cap, but I guess I can take it in case I take a minus speed item, like this mammoth, which obviously is amazing. The extra melee damage and regen are exactly what we need. I've already got Sharp Bullet, so I don't really need the bandana. We can recycle that. More attack speed, still very good, though I do need to fix my percent damage still. But we'll just keep buying a bunch of attack speed. And then let's buy all these items and roll. Get another max level brass knuckles. Bone dice at this point I don't think is worth it, but I'll take a bat, and Pocket Factory is fun. Not going to be that important, but will be fun. Shady Potion won't do anything going into the last wave, but brass knuckles will. And let's... Oh, I had a free reroll there. I actually forgot I had multiple dangerous bunnies. So obviously, slight mistake. Should have used my reroll. You can see that we still take just a ton of damage every time we take a hit. This is, of course, why typically on the Jack you're going to want to use a ranged weapon. Because you want to kill enemies further away and not have to spend a bunch of money on range. And even though we have a bunch of range, because we're moving so fast, I'm often just moving into enemies before they die and taking a hit as a result of that. 1,000 income on the last wave, though. I'll take a Wandering Bot. It can slow the bosses. That's not terrible. Baby Squid. So technically, this can give me 1 regeneration next wave, because I will level up, and you get the regen right away when you level up. But I think that the 1 regen for -3 attack speed is not worth it. Let's take some crit chance here, because we have a giant belt, and we'll just take 4 melee damage, and then... I'm going to sell this level 2 fist. I want as many different ways to proc the fire as I can, so that the brass knuckles always has enemies set on fire, the cursed one. A snake, sure. I'll take another snake. We'll take a claw tree. We'll roll. We will pick up the Tyler and the padding, and roll again, and take a corrupted shard just for 3% more damage, and then we'll go fight the bosses. Alright, so 1,000 damage criticals, because we have the Giant's Belt, so we're just shredding it every time we crit. Now, usually the enemies, the bosses on this map, will stack on top of each other and let you kill them both much sooner. They actually weirdly split up this time, I think because I moved so fast I got out of aggro radius of one of them. So that was actually funny. It slowed my kill on them significantly. All right, so not the cleanest run because I did mess up that one boss fight, but still a really fun run. And honestly, this character is sort of like Hiker, but way better because the Jack fixes your economy, so now the Hiker passive can really just go off. We gained 2,000 materials from the Hiker passive and 43 bonus HP, so a third of our HP. And then taking a look at our items here, 420 saved from the coupon. We've gotten 182 from healing from the cute monkeys, which obviously is a ton. 600 materials from bags, which is great. 31k damage from our scared sausages. And yeah, our brass knuckles, the cursed one dealt 54k damage last round alone, so just a ridiculous amount of damage. The Alien Eyes dealt 44k, so pretty good there. Triple Dangerous Bunny gave us 343 materials saved, but way more than that because it makes all your rerolls so much cheaper. Incendiary... Oh, it's funny. It shows the decimal value for our capped move speed, actually. The game rarely shows decimal values, but a couple of the tooltips are programmed to show the actual... decimal float, and so this I guess is one of them. And we've got 930 9,300 damage from the incendiary turret here. 67 HP recovered from the medical turret is actually pretty good for a medical turret. And our tentacles only healed us for 11, so not amazing, but not that important. We got actually more damage gained, a higher ratio of damage gained than health lost than is average for the bone dice. So bone dice rolling hot there. 20k damage on our baby elephant, and only 5k on the cyber ball, but we got that a little later, and obviously as the jack, the cyber ball is much worse. And then 69k damage on the giant's belt. Nice. All right, my friends, I hope that you enjoyed this run, and of course, as always, if you have, feel free to leave a comment and hit like. Helps me out a ton with the algorithm, so I appreciate you taking the time to do that. And of course, you can subscribe to my channel for more Brotato and other strategy game analysis. Cheers, folks. I'll catch you next time.